Well, well, well. Look at what the cat dragged. No, I'm just fucking with you. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Strategic Chaos, aka Sana, and on this channel we talk about all things related to lifestyle, cybersecurity, and entrepreneurship. I am still growing with this channel. I'm still, ultimately using this as a platform to explore my creativity, so bear with me. But in the meantime, if you enjoy the type of content that I post on here, please hit subscribe or comment below and reach out to me via social media. I love hearing from you, even if it's an emoji or a random bot text. It brings me joy. So stick around and we're gonna dive into this week's topic, which is dating in lockdown in Sydney, Australia. For those of you who don't know, I live in Sydney, Australia, in case that didn't register. I do, and we are currently in lockdown. All of Australia is, but every state has individual lockdown rules, and New South Wales is where this shit show unfolded a couple of weeks ago, and we are currently in week 9, and it is a great time to be single in lockdown. It's not. Look, I decided to, honestly, like, just pure, like, no script, no nothing. I honestly just wanted to put together a short video for people who might feel, singles, or people who might feel like their dating life is on hold because of lockdown. For people who are just starting to feel a little lonely and feel like, honestly, like, this is never gonna end. The truth is it will end. I'm hoping by Christmas, but it will. We don't know when for sure right now, but it will. And when it does, you want to be ready. It's gonna be a bunch of horny people trying to figure out, trying to meet up after the lockdown restrictions ease, and people are just gonna be jumping all over each other like a bunch of horny rabbits. So it's gonna get there, we're gonna get there, but in the meantime, I wanted to put together a couple of tips in this video to help you progress while you're in lockdown, like to help you progress your dating life or your love life while you're in lockdown. So here they are, based off my personal experience as well. I compiled a neat list on my iPhone, like I almost always do for all these videos, because I need text prompts to speak, apparently. So let's dive into it. Let's just get right into it, because why not? The first thing, girl, no. The first tip that I have when it comes to dating in lockdown, or the first pro tip that I have when it comes to dating in lockdown is use this time to actually build meaningful relationships. Like, it is, I don't know about you, but before lockdown, like, obviously you could meet people whenever you wanted. And it was really easy to just kind of, sort of schedule time in your diary, or meet up on a Thursday evening or a Friday evening, or even a Saturday evening if you're looking to get really rowdy. It was really easy to do that. And the truth is, a lot of us, or at least me, you'd have a couple of short text messages that were exchanged between the both of you, and then you would catch up with that person for a drink, only to be disappointed by their motives. Really, truly. I have found that one of the things that's really helped me, or helped push my dating life forward, or help me get through it, is actually use this time to build relationships with the people, build meaningful relationships with the people that I'm talking to online. This means really taking your time to get to know them, really understanding what their background is, if they're like addicted to weird shit, if they're like, what their family background looks like literally anything and everything. But because of the fact that we really can't, you know, meet in large groups of people, and it's with the way, and I don't know how it works the rest of the world right now, but with the way lockdowns are in, at least for Sydney and part, you know, most of Australia, but I'm focusing on Sydney for the sake of this video because I'm from there. You're not really allowed to just physically meet with people, even if like just randomly here and there. Like your movement is pretty much tracked. Like if you have a if you're single, you can have someone within your singles bubble, which you have to register online, and which is an interesting feature to have, and it's good to have. But if you are in a relationship while you are living alone, or if you're living with a roommate, but if you're in a relationship, you can still visit them for compassionate reasons. But they don't really have anything for people who are single and trying to meet people, if that makes sense. So really, you're not allowed to just fuck around. You can't do casual hookups as easily anymore, and the government really comes down on you, really comes down hard on you over here with the fines. Like you get fined for breathing in general. Like it is extensive. You can get fined for literally accidentally breaching you know, lockdown rules. So people don't really risk it. What I'm trying to say is it's not easy to just go have a quickie with a random person that you're just like, not a random person, or someone that you just started talking to. So the way I see it is you really want to use this time to build meaningful relationships with them, because why not? You can't really go and meet them right away anyway, so you might as well get to know them. Actually have a freaking conversation with them. Find out what their day-to-day lives look like. Find out what they like to have, you know, for midnight snacks when they're hungry. And if they tell you they don't get hungry at night, they are lying. Unmatch. No, seriously though, use this time to actually get to know this person. You know, like actually understand parts of their characteristics. You'd be surprised how much you can actually learn about a person when you ask the right questions. Like, you know, you get an understanding for what they like to do in their free time. You get an understanding for what their future aspirations are. You get an understanding for how close they are with their family. You get an understanding, you know, for what they want to do outside of lockdown. There are a lot of things that you can get to know about a person if you ask the right questions and you invest the time that is required to find out the responses to these questions. So we're all in lockdown anyways. You ain't got nothing better to do, so might as well get to talking. This then leads me to my next point, which is use this time to become a better conversationalist. That's gonna happen inevitably anyway if you're, you know, talking to different people to get to know them. Like, it's gonna happen regardless. But use this time to actively like ask the right questions, you know, like have video calls with people. I know a lot of single friends of mine who you know, start texting a guy and then, you know, they hit it off, well, how much ever you can over text on an app, and then they get on a phone call, and after that phone call they're like, hey, you know, I want to make sure I'm not being catfished, so let's do a video call. And that's when you actually got to like put on a face or whatever. So yeah, they get on those calls, and it's really interesting. Like they actually, even though they're not able to physically see them, you can actually progress quite far if you take the time to treat it like you're going on an actual date, but a virtual one. In Sydney, there are also a lot of fun ideas, like a lot of restaurants that do takeaway or takeout. So you can always order like, you know, a nice meal for yourself. You can also order some wine for a good, you know, evening out with this person while you talk to them on, you know, FaceTime or I don't know, WhatsApp or I don't know, Facebook Messenger, whatever it is, okay, whatever you like. You're able to actually get to know them, and I would highly recommend you do that as opposed to just sending them a text message or texting them consistently, because it is important to actually, you know, hear that person's voice and actually see them on camera at the very least, so you have an understanding for what they look like, so you don't like end up meeting them after quarantine or after lockdown and feeling like you've been catfished. I've personally done this and it's a lot of fun. It feels quite interactive. Obviously physically they're not there, so that's something that is kind of missing, but you still get to know a person pretty well. I've had like wine evenings and, you know, just like, you know, conversations after a long day on a Friday, and it's super laid back. It takes the pressure of having to physically dress up, like put on heels and wear an iron shirt and wear like jeans, you know, that don't probably no longer fit me anymore. Takes the pressure off that. So I would 100% recommend that you also use this time to actually become a better conversationalist. And ultimately, this leads me to my third point, which is use this time to actually figure out what you want in a relationship. Like when you're dating in lockdown, you're not really, unless in the rare instance that you're like, hey, I want to become exclusive with you, then that's different. But I'm talking for people who are just getting to know people and just like genuinely trying to, you know, meet a whole bunch of different people and just expose themselves to different kinds of personalities. While you're talking to all of these, you know, different men or women, you actually get an understanding for what they're like, what they want in life, and it also helps you clear out what you actually want in a relationship. Every person, including myself, but every person in general has certain deal breakers in a relationship that I think a lot of us just don't take the time out to even understand. Like a lot of us don't even know what we don't want in a relationship, you know? I could tell you it's probably been like what, like for the past 25, well, I'm in my 20s now, but like for the past like couple of years when I seriously started dating, I actually had no idea what I really wanted in a relationship. I just kind of went along with the relationships that I was in because they were comfortable. I knew the guy really well, and we'd known each other for so long. You know, we had a history there, so it just seemed to flow, and that was it. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm also saying I didn't really know what my values were in a relationship. And you're not going to get very far in any relationship, especially the one with yourself, if you don't know what your core values are. I never took the time out to actually sit down with myself and understand like, oh, hey, this is what I actually want in a partner. This is what I don't want. These are my non-negotiables. These are my deal breakers. And now that I have all this time and freaking space to actually sit down and analyze like my thought process and analyze what I actually want in a relationship, like this has become very clear to me. It also makes it very easier for you to then, it also makes it very easy. My English is broken. It also makes it easier for you to then identify partners that you think you would want to get serious with once this restriction or lockdown ends, you know? But if you don't have a baseline, just like anything, then you're not gonna have a freaking house to build it on, you know what I mean? Like your baseline's crooked, everything else is doomed to fucking fall to shit anyways. So make sure you get that sorted. I don't know why I did that. I'm just gonna blame it on lockdown. Just, yeah, okay, so. And the last one, or the last tip that I have, I believe we're on number 4. So the fourth tip that I would have to help you kind of feel like you're not feel, but also the fourth tip. It's almost the end, you guys, just bear with me. The fourth tip that I would have that will actually help you feel like you are progressing with your dating life and not just kind of, you know, feel like it's all going to shit right now, is actually taking the time to find out what you love doing and find out what your day-to-day life looks like outside of dating. What I mean by that is creating like little loves that you actually, or little activities I like to call them, that you love to do every day for yourself. Doesn't just have to be for a relationship, but really for yourself. Like, what do you actually like doing? You know, who are you outside of a relationship? And I think that is super important because a lot of people that I know just get into relationships purely because they want companionship, and I get that. Who doesn't, right? I don't want to die alone. I don't want to die a 40-year-old virgin. Fuck wants to do that. But the point is, I think what happens with a lot of people, and I know it's definitely happened for me, is that you tend to actually, that was my table. Sounded like a fart. Okay, back to point 4. I'm not even gonna edit this video. This is just gonna go up as it is. So we're gonna wrap it up by going to point 4, which is take the time out to understand what your life looks like outside of a relationship. So establish activities or things that you like to do for yourself. So for some of you, that might mean, you know, surfing, that might mean rock climbing. I know a lot of friends of mine who love indoor rock climbing. For some of you, it might be reading, writing, I don't know, bungee jumping. Shit, if you're allowed to do that, do that. Like, some of you might be abseiling, whatever it is. Like, for some people, it's just people watching, drinking coffee, reading a book, and watching people, you know, and eating. Whatever it is, find that and actually establish it, and actually fall in love with it to the point where it's like part of who you are as a person, because that's gonna be your non-negotiables, right? That's gonna be things that you do for yourself. I feel like a lot of people, when we fall in love or when we get into a serious relationship, we tend to neglect those parts of us, and then you get to this point where so much of your identity is molded, is sort of molded into that relationship, or molded with that relationship, that you have a hard time figuring out what you even like to do outside of that person, and you know, your relationship with that person. So use this time to actually figure out what you like to do and start doing it. Create a habit around it. Put together a schedule that works for you every day, that allows you to work on your passions, but also one that you know will work with you when restrictions do ease and you're allowed to go out. Because let's be honest, like, it's gonna be a lot of fun once restrictions do ease and I get to see, you know, the waves of a beach, which I don't know when that's gonna happen. When it does, it's gonna be freaking beautiful, and I'm probably never gonna come home. I'm gonna go on like a 5-day bender, pack my bags, probably not come back, but I'm gonna be freaking exhausted, just like the rest of you guys are. And when it comes to, you know, finally dating someone and actually being in a committed relationship with them, that relationship is gonna take up time. It is gonna take up time away from things that you like to do. It is gonna take up time from, you know, activities that you're used to doing right now. Like, it's gonna take up time in your life, and you have to prioritize it, but you have to prioritize it in a manner so that it doesn't force you to step away from, you know, activities that you love doing. Like, you have to, it's a delicate balancing act, right? You can't completely neglect it, but you also don't want to lose like that part of you that solely defines who you are based on things that you like to do. So for me, for example, I'm a very creative person. I love creating things. Like, honestly, I will write, well, I'm making this YouTube video. I've learned how to edit in quarantine. I'm still getting there, but you know, we're getting there. With every video, I think we're getting closer. But yeah, I love to create things, and you know, I like to help people feel good about them. That's what you know, wakes me up in the morning. Not having to, you know, log into my work laptop and check a bunch of emails, even though I do enjoy my job. But the point is, make sure you put together a schedule that actually allows you to thrive as a person, but also allows you to, that also gives that relationship time to grow, because that's not going to happen if you don't prioritize it properly. And that's a balancing act, my friends. And after that rather long-winded video, we have come to an end. So I believe I've put together 4 tips for you guys, and I really, really, really hope with every fiber in my body that these tips have been helpful. in helping you feel less lonely in lockdown and helping you feel less like your dating life is not going anywhere. Trust me, I get it. This shit is rough. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, like, you know, we're gonna get through it. I mean, we are, but I'm not gonna just be overly preppy. I was never a cheerleader, so I love potatoes too much. But I'm not gonna sit here and throw false positivity your way. It is hard right now. It is fucking rough. But we've gone through before, and we're gonna get through it this time around too. I hope this video helps. If it does, please reach out to me. I love hearing from you. And until next time, just stay sane, and you know, I'll see you soon.